Welcome back to another episode of They Don't Want It. I've got ex-footballers Darcy Lussick and Reni Maitua with me. Now, Darcy, you've obviously had a bit of a big rip this weekend. Let's go through a bit of a recap. What's happened?
Mate, I don't know what it is. Once I get over that New South Wales Queensland border, I turn into like a wild animal or something. So I went up there on Saturday and got back yesterday, I think. So it was...
you think?
Well, I didn't want to come back, but this show would fall apart without me. So
Absolutely.
Here I am, giving the punters what they want.
You just give so much energy every week, mate. We miss you.
Well,
We miss you.
I don't know much today, so if I sat mumbling, just cut me out.
You're on fire already, Darcy. I love it. Let's go.
I bet you would have been happy not to have the hangover on the Sunday morning.
Well, I had FOMO. I was seeing it on Instagram, missing out on our mate Paul Fisher's festival up on the Goldie, but I woke up Sunday morning thinking, thank God. And now I'm just concentrating on the gym now. I probably weigh the same amount as my odds in my multis. I'm fucking huge and I'm over it. So. I'm in training mode, Les.
Yeah.
I'm in training mode, mate. Beast mode. 6 weeks till my birthday. Urban Surf. Anyone knows anyone at Urban Surf?
Yeah.
Call me. I want to book a private.
Yeah.
Sponsor
Two of
for
us,
the pod?
actually.
Both of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's your birthday too.
Yeah, Gemini.
June. Let's go.
You obviously watched Petesy up on the Gold Coast too, play a bit of footy. How's he
I
going?
watched the mighty Tugan Seahawks play on Saturday. It was good. They played... I don't know who they played, but it was good.
You got too much, mate.
Yeah, it was good. Like good. I loved going the park footy. It was good to have a few beers and
I wish you'd drag my brother out.
Well, Reni's brother actually messaged me and he said, "Mate, I was at the footy," and then I said, "Why didn't you come over?" And he said, "I couldn't see her." But so he definitely would have seen me, but
For
he
sure.
probably just wanted to stay away from me. But
He would have been dodging you hard.
yeah, but
Have a go, Leadon.
yeah, I know.
Now, Darcy, I know that you were watching a lot of footy on the weekend, mate. Give us your player of the week.
Mate, well, I did watch this game. I watched the Manly Canberra game, and I thought Elliot Whitehead was my player of the week. Came back into the team at the start of the week, and like he single-handedly sort of dragged them over the line when they were down 20-6 or something like that. I think it was
20-0 at once.
Yeah, I thought, geez, this could be anything. But mate, he was like that flick pass and scored 2 tries, I think, and really led from the front. And he's just like a real Ricky Stewart player, isn't he? Like just someone who Ricky would love, and you could imagine he would be a bit out on the drink with him after. So they really needed that Canberra, but I thought Manly were quite disappointing.
Ren, I know myself that I really wrote off the Raiders after they lost Jordan Rapner out there at fullback. And then they've come out and put on some really good performances.
Well, especially coming off the back of that big loss against the Sharks the week before. They're 20-0 down half time. Elliot Whitehead's just that big moment player.
Yeah.
Like to take that intercept and then do the flick pass, Week scores that try. It starts giving the younger players a little bit of, like plenty of belief. Scores 2 tries. It was good for your captain to come back into a team, get the win at Brookie on a Friday night in the wet. It was outstanding. So I can understand why Elliot is Darcy's player of the round for sure.
And then obviously the young bloke in that side too, KO Weeks at 7. He's come in as a fullback into this squad and he's been shoved into the number 7. And
he's been great.
done well.
Yeah.
You know, to even put that kick in for Kotrick to score, that's ballsy. So that's a ballsy play. I think it might have been the third or fourth tackle.
Yeah.
Obviously, Turbo's in the line. He puts a kick through. They score in the corner. And like you can't teach that kind of belief or skill. You got to have. You got to back yourself to be able to put those plays on, and it came off for him. And he's a big game. He's a player of the future. I hope they cut that rat's tail off. But mate, he's outstanding.
Well, he's an ex-Manly player, so you probably would have gone back there with a bit of a point to prove. So
Yeah. Well, speaking of Manly, what about their edge defence? I mean, they were 20 up, as we said, and then
You know what? In the first half, like I was watching DCE and I'm thinking, this bloke's 34 years old and he's still running amok. He was one half I hated playing against because I used to like to fend. He'd always time it perfectly where he'd knock my hand down, get me off balance. And then he was very deceptive the way he carried the ball. And he's strong.
strong, yeah.
He's so strong. So in the first half, when they were running amok, him and Turbo, you see that hang play?
Yeah.
How good
I
is
still
that?
can't work it out.
So the back rower runs an outline, and Turbo,
So
instead of coming around the back of the back row, he comes through the middle. But it was just to perfection.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I thought, here we go, we've got another cricket score. But Canberra, just gritty,
Gritty,
a typical Ricky Stewart win.
who was your player of the week this week?
Mine's Josh Curran, Les. Mate, I'm the biggest fan of this kid. He's just a player that just goes about his business every week. He's in everything. He's your Cameron Murray for South. He's your Gilbert for Dolphins. He's your Tony Grimaldi for the team I played in. They're just selfless players. And for his efforts, he scores that try.
Yeah.
But I had my eye on Curran as a player when he was at the Warriors, and I just saw the effort areas that he was doing in their defence, and I think that's what the Warriors are missing this year is Curran.
Yeah,
he really, and he had a 10 on his back. It looked weird having the 10 on his back, but he's my player of the round, and I think he's been the cornerstone for the Bulldogs team this year. He's an outstanding signing, and he deserved player of the round for me.
Darcy, do you think that bench role suits him the best? Where do you think Curran plays his best footy in that side?
Look, I've mainly watched him obviously at the Warriors last year. I thought like any time he came on, he just did a job from like. After 5 minutes, he looks exhausted, but he always just keeps finding that like that second effort and always turning up, and he always gets a try. You know, for just for sort of backing up. So
he's not a big boy.
No, he's not a big boy, but I think you could seriously put him in, like you said, the front row, back row, bench. Like I don't think it really matters. I think he's just going to do a job. So and I think that's what the Bulldogs have been missing the last sort of couple of years, like a real worker, someone that's not flashy but just keep turning up all the time. So
but that whole pack as well. We spoke about it last week. I mean, for them to have a halfback, Josh Curran off the bench, Sam Hughes.
Yeah. Well, I was reading in the paper today. They were talking about, everyone sort of thought that the Bulldogs were a little bit crazy recruiting all those utilities. But now, they've got the sort of smaller players, but they're playing that real fast ball.
Kurt Mann, he's been great as well.
Yeah, not that big, but they're like just turn up for each other. They're getting through all the work. So maybe there was.
You're not a Broncos pack, so you got to play to your strengths. And that's where Serrato comes into it.
Yeah,
or Jason Taylor. You got to have better attacking options for the players you've got instead of trying to copy and paste a Melbourne or a Penrith style, right? So they're flying.
Well, Serrato's just sort of stuck solid the whole way through, hasn't he? Like there's been talk, he needs to change this, but he sort of just stuck to his philosophies and everything. And like even at one stage, they were talking about like people calling for his head. Like he's only in there for a year, so I think everyone's sort of starting to see now that he's actually the right man for the job.
It has been an unreal turnaround this year from where they were last year to where they are now. Humongous turnaround. Now, we obviously saw some great footy on the weekend, but there was obviously a few calls in some games that, just weren't the best. And when you've got, bunker officials watching the game, you've got a referee, you've got two touch judges, it does get a bit annoying, obviously, when we have a lot of mistakes like this. And obviously with Graham Annesley coming out every week and apologising too.
My take on it, right? So you play Thursday night. Isaac Tungle gets sin bin for a hip drop. Surely they've got a WhatsApp group or some sort of communication amongst all the referees and say, all right, guys, Graham Annesley gets on there. He's a chief operator. Guys, we've set a precedent this week. Tungle's gone off. Any more hip drops, you're off. 10 in the bin. Something along those lines. Where's the communication? I'm not going to go in on Casey for not making that decision to sin bin him. But surely they're communicating before the game. Like, are they even watching the Thursday night game? It's a Thursday night game. It sets up the rest of the weekend's game. You can't not sin bin someone for a hip drop after you've done it on the Thursday night. Now, I don't know what the black and white rule is for the NRL, and I presume that it is an automatic sin bin, just like contact with the head. So I think Graham Annesley, who's the chief operator, the head of the snake, he needs to be accountable for this because we've had blunders all year. It's just like Jason Demetriou losing his job for performance. Why isn't Graham Annesley head on the chopping block? Maybe he's lost the reffing room. Do you like that one? Reffing room? Maybe he's lost them. It's just like, I don't want to go in on the referees, male, female. I don't give a shit. Get the decisions right. But Graham Annesley's the head of the snake.
But also, at the end of the week or on a Monday, when we do get a bunch of tweets from Graham Annesley saying, oh, sorry, we made the wrong call. Well, we'll select tweets and fucking press conferences and everything.
There's always an apology, isn't there? Every week. But I think like with on the weekend, not going in on Casey, and I think she's a good ref. She's early on in her career. like the bunker should have been in her ear saying that was a hip drop. You know, like just a tip, just heads up. You know, her heart rate's up.
Yeah,
there's a million things happening. Maybe they just communicate. Like I think he got 4 weeks for it, so it was obviously a pretty bad hip drop. And then there's people being sent off for 10 where it was a slight hip drop. So I think like the punters and everyone, like they just want a bit of consistency. Like the fans want a bit of consistency, and it's frustrating. But it's a hard job. I'll get it, but I think the bunker has to be better because I think there comes some shocking.
I like that. Like, why isn't someone in Casey's ear just say, "Hey, heads up"?
Heads up, yeah.
It's a hip drop. It's it's a sin bin, and then you're putting the match review committee against the bunker.
Yeah.
So they come out and suspend him for 4 weeks potentially.
Yeah.
So that's going against the bunker even more.
Makes
the bunker
bad.
Look. But they are making the calls. They need to get it right.
But it also makes, like, you sort of sit and watch the game and you think, is the bunker in charge and do they make the final decision?
Yeah.
Or do the refs do?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Well, you can see sometimes I think the ref is calling stuff what they've heard from the bunker. So, as the bunker, depending on who is in the bunker, are they too scared to make the call, or it's just a bit confusing. And for everyone, no one really knows what's going on. Watching it, but
they're mic'd up with the touchies as well.
Yeah.
So there's a few people there that can make a decision or tip Casey up or any referee and say, "Hey, just a heads up."
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe they need to get some ex-players in the bunker?
Look, it's pretty like what they're getting wrong is you don't need an ex-player to see.
Yeah.
Like the average punter can see it. Buzz Rothfield can see it on 360.
Yeah.
And he's old as hell. Like
that's a worry.
Exactly. But we can talk about the Dallin one as well.
Yeah.
Like, how did everyone get that wrong?
Yeah.
Did I see the Annesley come out and say it wasn't wrong? Did I see that?
I haven't seen anything.
We'll have to look at that. Yeah.
What do you reckon Annesley's profile pic is on his WhatsApp group?
Shirt off.
He's got the executioner shirt off. Big G dog.
Few chest tattoos. Out somewhere in Hawaii or something.
Oh, do you reckon there's one referee that just sends those inappropriate memes too?
And then rocks in Monday morning going, shit.
Sorry guys.
That was like me this morning.
Maybe there is a WhatsApp there. Maybe we just don't know about it. Back to the Dalmatoni's Lesniak no try though. It was pretty obvious that one and the contact in the air should have been a penalty anyway.
And the fact that they took it up to the bunker, like, what are you looking at?
Yeah, you've watched it a few times now.
Mate, maybe they need to have like the coverage on, like the Channel 9 or the Fox coverage with the commentary just on and just listen to what the commentators are saying as well. Like maybe that can tip them up and they don't have to pay an extra person to go in there. They can save money, not like the NRL needs to save money. But it's just, and you got to think about the punters as well. Imagine you had, I don't know, is it 13 plus or more than 13 points?
Yeah.
For the Warriors, and that's a blatant, like, fuck, come on. There's a lot of money that's invested into this game. Get it right.
Well, do you think that they get to a stage where the bunker makes so many fuck-ups that they're just like, get rid of the bunker?
Well, this goes back to my point. Graham Annesley is the head of the snake. He's the chief operator, and they keep fucking up. So maybe he needs to be held accountable for what's going on.
What do you think, Darcy? Do you think they might get rid of the bunker?
I don't think they'll ever get rid of the bunker, but just consistency. Like everyone just wants a bit of consistency. Like, and it's not even that. Like the Warriors are sort of in it now. They've lost 4 in a row, puts everyone under pressure. But with the amount of money in the game at the moment, you can't be getting these wrong. I don't think. It's $1 billion game.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be getting this shit wrong anymore.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, well, let's move on to the next point. We can bag the bunker all day, but I'll save him. Wayne Bennett, obviously, South Sydney have offered him a deal. It went from 2 to 3 year discussions to 5 years, which takes him to 84 years old if he takes that deal.
84? Is that you cracking jokes?
It's not like cracking jokes.
He's 74 and he's on a 5-year deal.
No, he's not 74.
He's 74 years old.
He's 78.
No, he's not 78.
74.
Is he 74?
What? Hang on.
Aren't you meant to be the stat man?
Yeah.
I'm not looking up everyone's ages.
Well, you can't make it up.
I should probably. That's right.
He's 74, so he'll be going on 75. He'll be going on to 80.
Yeah.
Like,
there you go.
Right. So he loves what he does.
Yeah.
He's a genius at what he does. So why wouldn't he just keep him around forever? So I love that they've offered him a 5-year deal. Let him go out on his sword.
Yeah.
If he's, and I
he
don't
deserves it.
He's 74. Thanks, Mace. Let him go out on his shield. I don't mean that literally, but
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying here. He's 900 games, 7 premierships. Everyone loves him. He gets the players.
Yeah.
I'd offer him 10-year deal. Like wheel him in a wheelchair. Like whatever it takes. He's loved by his players.
Yeah.
And I love what he did. When have you seen Wayne Bennett so jovial and speaking so openly about going to South or I love the club? When have you seen it? Ever. Never. This is my theory. That's him. That is him taking pressure off the South boys without even being at the club.
Yeah.
Saying, hey, bring the focus back to me. Everyone's been going in on the Rabbits.
Yep.
They're struggling. They're decimated with injuries.
Yeah.
Bring the focus back to me. That's genius.
Yeah.
That's what all the best coaches do. They take the focus off the players and bring it back to themselves, even though he's got a Dolphin shirt on.
Yeah.
He's a genius.
Yeah. Well, obviously, the talks are that he'll come in for a few years and then Sammy Burgess will come back from his
obvious.
deal and then comes in there. Do you think that's the right move?
Yeah, I think it's the right move for sure. I think two probably really respected people in the game, like Wayne, he'll get the best out of the players for now. But then, I was watching a clip from one of the Warrington players the other day, and he was trying to play injured, and he said, how could I not go out there and play injured after Sam's telling me to go out and play injured? Wouldn't he done it? You know what I mean?
He's almost Sattler-like.
Yeah.
Johnny Sattler was a South legend, played a grand final with a broken jaw. Sammy plays with a broken cheekbone. That's folklore. That's like Burrow folklore.
Did you ever do anything like that?
No way, I was too soft.
Yeah, me either.
Playing with a broken cheekbone.
We obviously did play with that shoulder. Jai Arrow's obviously being made to play with the shoulder at the moment too. Like, it shows balls.
Well, is it his choice? Because I think the club knew that I had a torn. Is it labral? What's the labral tear at the back of my shoulder? It was a 10 centimeter tear in the end, and I was labrum, whatever it is. I'm no doctor.
Tomato.
It was painful. It was so painful. And then about 4 weeks after, they finally sent me for a scan and they said, "Look, you need a reconstruction. It's not pleasant at all."
Yeah.
And I said, "Look, just let me play another 6 games because I was 6 games off my 100th for the Bulldogs." So I can kind of understand what he's going through. It's painful, mate. Your shoulder, like, fuck.
He still had a massive crack on the weekend.
Yeah.
You can tell he's all in with
that.
with them trying to help him. So you got even big respect for that. But
well, both of those full field tries, he was pretty much the only player chasing as well, which just shows where the South Sydney are at.
Well, it comes back to like they need Bennett. Like there's who else is out there available that could possibly help them. Like there's no available coaches. Like they need Wayne Bennett.
And it's a shame when you've got that much talent in the team that you need Wayne Bennett to come back
it's crazy.
and get the best out of them.
Hornby's presser as well. He said that the boys, he saw effort out there, that he saw commitment, and there was glimpses of it for sure.
But what do you want him to say? They were shit house. They were terrible. They let me down. Like, he has to support his players, and that's what the good coaches do.
Yeah.
And then bag him behind closed doors.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
But this is the thing. Like, the Souths are just decimated. They're down in confidence. They get Latrell back. Everyone's been riding them. It's just not their year.
I think they might be bringing back Alex Johnston a week early as well from that hamstring injury, but he'll either come back this week or next week. Johnston, obviously, Jacob Host has been suspended too in the back row. I thought that he was pretty good. He's been quite good over the past few weeks.
Gray.
Yeah, Jai Gray, Cam Murray, Campbell Graham, Tevita Totola. Dean Hawkins is out for 8 to 10 weeks now.
Yeah.
Richard Kenner, Lockie Ilias is obviously still out with his knee, Tyrone Munro, and then Isaiah Tass just got ankle surgery. Jai Arrow's playing with a shoulder.
So what happens there? You can only play your top 30, can't you?
There's about 30 there.
We've got Matt French. I think he might be on the cusp of the 30 or just out of the 30 as well. They might have had to get an exemption for him. But
Mate,
it's getting tough.
They're in trouble. And imagine Latrell coming back. You're all these pressures on Latrell, and then he's playing with essentially a reserve grade team. But this is his opportunity to step up and say, "I'm the man. This is who I am. This is the ability I have. I'm going to carry this team through the fire. Win, lose, or draw. I'm going to be the best player on the field."
Do you think Latrell should play Origin or should he stay with South?
South. I don't think he gets picked for Origin.
No?
No.
Yourself? You've got him in your team, I think.
Yeah, well, I had him in the centres because he always seems to pull through for them. But and if I was an opposition centre, it's probably the last. I think you're more worried about Latrell.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, he has to turn up because his form this year hasn't been great, has it? So, like Ren said, this is his time to come back and say, "Look, I'm the leader of this team. Get on my back," and then he can shut a lot of people up. You know what I mean? Because when he's playing well, that's when
he's unbelievable.
Unbelievable,
man.
but
he just to unlock his full capabilities, like just week in, week out.
Yeah,
he could be one of the. If
He'd
not
be
the best
elite.
player
That's what will take him to elite. There's been glimpses of him being like one of those real elite fullbacks, but he needs to do it week in, week out, like the other ones do.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be an interesting next few weeks for South Sydney, especially with the team that they've got. They've got Michael Cheekham playing in the centres at the moment too. They got Shibasaki, who played for the Cowboys and for Newcastle in the centres a few years back as well. They've just brought him in on a week-to-week. Yeah, it's going to be so interesting to see how this side plays.
It's rough. It's rough for the Bunnies, but it is what it is.
It is what it is. Fifita. Now, Dave Fifita is obviously in talks with the Penrith Panthers and the Dragons. I think he just met with the Roosters either today or yesterday. The Roosters have offered him $875K per season for 4 years. The Panthers have offered him $850K for 3 years. What are our thoughts? Where do you think he goes? If you're Dave Fifita, Darcy, are you going to the Panthers or the Roosters?
When I heard the Panthers in, I thought he's gone for sure, and then I just heard that the Roosters have come in, so Roosters don't really miss too often, do they?
Why do you reckon he's decided to leave Titans?
Well, I think that maybe, I think he wants to win. Maybe he wants to win.
Do you think that's the only reason?
Yeah, I think so. I think the money's going to be the same wherever he goes. He was on that big contract, the 1.2, 1.3, whatever it was. So
yeah.
He's not searching.
He's on 1.3.
He's on 1. I think he's on 1.1 still, or around that mark.
He goes to Roosters, he'll get the third parties, or you get looked after. But I don't know. He probably lives a nice life up there on the Goldie, but it sort of depends what he wants to do. If he wants to go and win games, well, he's got two of the best clubs he could possibly go to. And then I've seen St. George and someone else come in, but if they're competing against Roosters and Panthers, don't even bother.
Do you think it could have anything to do with the coaching style of the Titans? Do you think he might not be... Well, obviously he's not happy, but what do you think he's not happy about?
I don't know. I reckon he probably just wants to win, you know what I mean? Whether I think he had that clause for 10 rounds to see, if he gets on with Des or whatever, whether there's a problem here there with Des, whether he likes his coaching style, whether Des likes him as a player, that's another thing. So, mate, there's no doubting his skill. Like he's unbelievable when he's on. But then imagine him getting into that Penrith system. Like he will go to another level. It's just like when sort of people go to when people used to go to the Melbourne, like they'll just go to a different level. So, but I think the Roosters will be hard to say no to. Once again, Bondi, Penrith, lifestyle.
It's true.
I know where I'd be
No
going.
offense, but I'd be sipping lattes down at Coogee for sure.
Uncle Nick, get me a penthouse in Panorama.
Trent actually had Fifita to his house, from what I've heard. So they've had him over. Nice house in Bondi, baby.
Like you said, Roosters don't miss.
Nah.
And Penrith, they've got they're going to be a top club for a long time. They've got a great system, but it's lifestyle. It comes down to lifestyle. Sure. If he's on $1 million a year right now, currently, what's that, about $50,000 a month after tax?
Yeah.
So if he goes down to $850, he's only probably going down to about $44,000. I'm no mathematician, but he's still earning big money and gets a chance to win.
And they really on the Roosters? If do Roosters ever underpay anyone?
No, and you looked after footy.
Exactly. So
after footy,
you go there, put a good 10 years together there, and then finish.
Yeah,
it's a tough one. But I wonder why. Probably South have salary cap issues to maybe not fit Fifita in, and I thought maybe the Dogs, but I don't know if the Dogs' style of play or Fifita's style of play suits what Serrato's trying to implement at the club.
So here's the question for you. Fifita, obviously a left back rower, Angus Crichton, left back rower. Do the Panthers splash a bit of Queen at Angus Crichton?
He's in a purple patch at the moment. He's playing great after a rough sort of couple of years, and we all knew how good he was.
Yeah,
but he's just man, he's really he's playing for a contract.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to say I'd love to see him with the Dogs.
Yeah. Well, and I think that if you're offering Fifita a big contract like that to play in the same position,
you can't keep both, can you?
Yeah, I think that means that Angus Crichton's gone. So yeah, obviously
Roosters can.
It's true.
Someone's going to the Roosters.
How do you feel if you're Crichton?
Yeah.
Knowing that they're chasing for Fifita, and then your second fiddle to
The thing is, I think for Crichton, he's going to get a big contract if he leaves now in the form that he's in.
Yeah,
like you think what? Like
he's
you see the Dogs or Penrith, like he'll be on the same money. St George will probably go hard.
Yeah, look, it's going to be super interesting. Back to your Dogs though, do you reckon that Angus Crichton fits into that Dogs mould?
Absolutely, he hits that. You know, the only problem is he plays left back row and Kikau's there, but you could mould him into a right back row. You'd be mad not to look at it. He just runs a consistent line inside the 3-man, inside the 3-man, inside the 3-man, and then he gets his opportunities.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you want from your back row. He works hard in defence, runs a good line, he's got skill.
Yeah.
I'm sure Uncle Gus would be looking at it for sure.
And it evens out their edges, eh? Like, I mean, you've got Salmon on the other edge at the moment. I don't think that's really sustainable.
Yeah, and you got Preston as well.
Preston's a good kid. To come back too.
He's a good kid. He's a great player, but when you got a Origin and Australian player on the market, and he's only in his late 20s,
you
got to look at it for sure.
So back to Penrith. Do you think that if you're all the Panthers, are you splashing a bit of coin at Angus Crichton if Fifita goes to the Roosters?
Yeah, I think. Well, he's the next best option, isn't he? I think so. I think they said there might be a resolution this week with Fifita. Like, I think they're going to wait to see what he does, and then there's a couple of dominoes will fall. Then, so the thing is, there's probably 2 elite back rows on the market now, isn't there? Crichton and Fifita. So
I feel like there's more to it than just wanting to go to a winning club.
Yeah. What do you think it is? Des?
I think Des is a difficult. I think he's for a kid. I don't know Fifita well. Like I'll say hello to him, but Des can be a difficult person to play under. He's very intense. He's got a strange sense of humour that I don't think a young Indigenous Polynesian boy would understand. I feel like it will come out eventually, but I just feel like it's more than just winning.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more than just wanting to win a premiership and go to a strong club.
So do you think then if the Dragons do throw him a 1.1, 1.2, he goes? Under Shane?
You've thrown me off here because, I'm not sure.
The thing is, at the time you think, obviously, when you're playing, you go, $100,000, do I sacrifice that? Like, once you finish footy, you do anything for the $100,000, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to make it back up. So, mate, take it when you got to take it when you can. Like,
I could use $100,000 right now.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah.
So could I, just quietly. Look, it's going to be interesting to see where he lands. Obviously, a great player, and his ceiling is so high. 24 years old still too. So if he signs a 5-year deal, he can still.
And then he's got another 5-year deal after that.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's very, very interesting to see where he ends up. Hopefully, though, if you're the Penrith Panthers or the Sydney Roosters, there's no clauses saying that he can leave after 2 years, surely.
These powerful clubs, they don't have those clauses. Like, unfortunately for the Titans, a club that is rebuilding, they're going to put that clause in to get that player.
Yeah.
Roosters don't do that.
Yeah.
Melbourne don't do that. Penrith don't do that.
Yep. Yeah, no
They
clauses.
don't need to. Yeah. They're powerful clubs. They don't need to put these.
It's very stable as well.
Stable. It's like you don't want to come here, don't come.
Yeah.
We'll find the next person.
Now, speaking of the Roosters and some players that they're going after, there's been a little bit of word that Selwyn Cobbo is getting talked to by the Sydney Roosters. The manager's been hit up a few times. The Roosters are interested. I don't want to see Selwyn out of a Brisbane jersey. He's a Sherbrooke kid. He's got shades of GI, the way he runs, and who was the last person to do that? Come from Brisbane to go to the Roosters? Justin Hodges. Right? I just don't want to see them leave the Broncos. Yeah.
If it's a club that's going to throw money around and they've got the war chest, right?
Yeah, the $4 million war chest.
Cobbo's, he's a great player. You'd be mad not to go after him, but I just don't want him to leave Brisbane.
Yeah, what about yourself?
Agree.
Are you the same sentiment?
Agree.
Obviously, they're going after Dane Gagai as well. That's been publicised for the past few weeks as well. Dane Gagai's 33 years of age, though. But they do seem to go for these older players, don't they?
Well, maybe the SG Ball boys or the Flegg boys, there's not like, they might be a year or two off that centre position. I don't know what's coming through the ranks. And Gags, like, he's still playing good footy. Strong, footwork. He's a leader.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just there to fill a gap until these younger players come through.
They are losing a lot of experience at the end of this year, aren't they? So someone like that, Australia, Queensland, won a premiership, maybe. So maybe not. Check your stats later. But
you should know this, Les.
Yeah, come on, Les.
No, he has. I don't think he's won a premiership. I don't think he's won a premiership. But no, he's had a great career, and I think that going to the Roosters, they do seem to get these older players. Michael Jennings, they got Kevin Nguama 2 years back as well. Yep. So they are known for getting a few of these older guys just to have a bit of an older head around. Yep. Plus, if you're getting a Cobbo into the Roosters, that is probably the best replacement you could possibly get for a Manu. Because he can play multiple positions. He can play to a very high kick. Yeah. I just think that that's huge. Now, obviously, Tupou as well. Now, this is just speculation, of course, but Tupou's obviously unsigned still going into next year. Do you maybe think it's a bit of a Tupou replacement as well, Selwyn Cobbo?
Potentially. But, no, well, you're losing Suoli, Joey Manu, and Tubes for Selwyn. For one player.
Yeah, but you've also got Billy Smith waiting in reserve grade still. Junior Polgar plays good every time he comes in. You've got a few young guys coming through the ranks.
Tubes is still playing good footy.
Yeah.
Like, he's good, plays 2, plays 3 option, comes out of the backfield, good under the high ball, finisher.
Yep.
You'd be mad not to keep Tubes.
What about you?
Yeah, agree.
Agree?
It's funny, the other week the Roosters saying, we might not go to market, and now they're going after every best player that's available. So,
you know what? I love how the Roosters, they do go about their business under the radar. Like, I think that's the difference between the Roosters and South at the moment, for example. I don't want to shit on South anymore, but South everything seems to play out in front of the media. Roosters have had these plans for 2 years. They know who they got their eyes on. Yeah. They knew they were going to have $4 million to spend, maybe not with Joey Manu, but Suoli'i in the last 12 months, they knew they were going to go out to the market. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if they've spoken to most of these players' managers in the last 12 months ago. Yeah. They know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, as I said, it's going to be interesting to see what this Roosters side looks like in 2 or 3 years, because obviously Tedesco's got about 3 or 4 years left in him. Tupou, maybe 2 or 3. Mate.
They've got plans. Uncle Nick doesn't let anything slip. They won't be going through any rebuilding phases.
Now, speaking of top-tier sides, Melbourne look to be going after Tavita Pangai Jr. Apparently, Craig Bellamy's been in contact with Tavita's manager over the past few days. What are our thoughts on this signing?
He's too good a talent to be not playing our game. And if there's a club that can get the best out of someone, it's Melbourne.
Yeah.
It'll be good for him.
Yeah, I think Melbourne's probably his last option to have a good crack at the NRL. Like, see, when he comes through Brisbane, he was good. Sort of fell away there for a bit. Dogs, very inconsistent. So I think if he goes there under Melbourne, under Craig Bellamy, I think that's what he needs.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Like, he just needs to put his head down, train hard. Mate, he could be anything there, but like, how many more chances is he going to get?
But then again, at his best, then you got Nelson also coming off the bench. That 1-2 punch is just absolutely insane.
Yeah. He shouldn't be. He should be playing NRL.
Yeah.
You know, he can do his boxing, but he needs to be playing footy.
Yeah.
Would you use him in that bench role? Have him off the bench, or would you start him?
Depends how he goes in the pre-season and everything. He's got to get through a Melbourne pre-season first.
Yeah, wouldn't know about that. Let's go into our origin sides, guys. We're just going to touch on some of the key picks here. We'll go through, I guess, position by position a little bit, but then just talk about some of the key picks that you've got here. Now, one that stood out to me, Darce, for you, we sort of touched on it before, was Latrell Mitchell in the centres.
Yeah. I just think, like, if he can sort of string a couple of good games together before Origin gets picked, like if you're an opposition centre, you don't want to be coming up against him in an Origin game. I think
he's only got one game this week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's 1 or 2 games left.
Well, when's Origin get picked? Next Wednesday?
I think it's next Wednesday.
Oh, is it?
Maybe? Yeah.
So he's got one game.
Sorry, I lost a couple of days over the weekend.
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but I think honestly, like I think that if he's there in the right frame of mind, like he's a scary opposition player. So but like he needs to come out this week and like Ren said before, he needs to put that team on his back this week and like show Madge that he wants to play Origin. So
you've got Bradman Best in your centres. You reckon he's an incumbent?
Well, he is the incumbent. He was the last one to play left centre and scored 1 or 2 tries in Origin last year. He's a genuine left centre. There's no one else really jumping out at me, and I think he's been playing good the last couple of weeks. Strong kid, left arm carry, right arm fend. I'd be giving him first crack.
Yeah.
There's no one else sort of jumping out at me.
Yeah, you've also got Burton in the number 6 as well. Do you think he wins the race over Hines?
Yep. You've got Cleary, right foot kicker. I'd put Burton on the left foot kicker. Give him that because it's a battle of field position in Origin.
Yeah.
He's got that kick. He can get you out of trouble. I think Birdo with his left boot is probably a better option for me than Nico. Because Nico doesn't need to go there, and it's not like he's going to be doing what he does with the Sharks. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it's just in Origin, it's a different beast. It's a different kettle of fish. It's like it's more playing through the middle, and it's not the shift plays. You know, if the shift play comes off, great. But you're playing against the elite. They shut down everything. I think Birdo just gives us a better option on the 5th tackle.
You wouldn't have Burton coming off the bench playing a bit of a roaming role?
No. You know who my bench player is.
I know who your bench player is. We'll get to that in a second because you've convinced me on him as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I mean, I've got Hines personally just because I think he's so suited to that left edge. His ball playing's great. His defence has improved out of sight too over the past 18 months. I think I've got him there, to be honest, over Burton. I think Burton's probably second pick with Moses out. But it depends how well Moses comes back as well because apparently he's supposed to come back over the next 2 weeks.
Centre?
Right centre. I have got Stephen Crichton as well.
Who have you got, Darcy?
Crichton, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep.
I was torn between him and Ramian. Ramian's carries out of the backfield.
Yeah,
strong. Defends well.
Yeah.
He just offers a little bit more coming out of the backfield than Critter. But Critter is a finisher and a big game player. Played the last 4 grand finals. And if you're Madge, like I'm going for the big game player. And he's not playing like bad.
Yeah.
He's not playing amazing.
Yeah.
But he'll fit that right centre spot well. Ramian will be unlucky to miss out if Critter does get it. I think comes down to them too.
You guys have got Liam Martin in your right edge back row as well. I'm a bit 50-50 on Martin. I just think his form hasn't been there. And when you've got a coach coming in saying he's picking off form, he's an Origin player, but I don't know.
You're putting a New South Wales jersey on, you're going to step up. Who would you put at right back row then?
Hamole, Olakwatu.
A debutant?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I don't mind it. Because Queensland take risks like that. You know, they've got Nanai who's 20. He was 19 starting in the Queen. This is the problem Queensland take risk.
Yeah.
And they're willing to back their players, their young ones coming through.
Yeah.
And we're just a little bit more reserved on our picks, like because we're like, oh, maybe, I don't know. I mean, he could go out there and just he's an animal.
Yeah.
Olakwatu, he's an absolute animal. I don't know, man. It's just there's so many 50-50s, and Madge has got a tough pick ahead.
Well, go back to the 6 jersey because I've just picked up on this as well. Darcy, you've got Whiten as your number 6.
Oh.
He's played centre for months.
Yeah.
Trained the whole off season at centre. Hasn't played 5'8".
Genius.
Obviously last week,
pick.
but yeah.
Love that.
He doesn't like it, obviously.
Nah, go on.
It's not
I just think that he's built for that, like that arena. You know, he's tough. He'll take the tough carries. He'll get through his work. Like I don't think it really. He's a natural footballer. Like I don't think it matters if he's trained at centre or.
Yeah.
He's played a couple of years, 5'8".
I like that.
In a Sharks. So if he plays, buy me a beer.
Yeah.
I'm off the drink. Give me a soda water.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I like it because he's an Origin player. He's tough. Every time he comes in, he
Don't
does
change your
very
tune
well.
now. You didn't like it
No,
2
listen,
seconds ago.
listen. Let me finish for a second. He's a tough player. He's an Origin player. He suits the role, but I'd rather have him at centre. I'd have him at centre. I wouldn't have him at 6.
Have you got him at centre in yours?
I haven't got him at centre in mine.
So you don't want him at centre?
Man. I
know what you're saying.
I
I'm just
cannot
cheating
believe
up.
I forgot about Jack White.
Yeah.
He's got to be in the team.
Yeah.
He's having a crack for South.
And it comes back to, like, if you're the opposition, you don't want to come up against Jack White in an Origin.
He's an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, big fan. Man, I can't believe I didn't think of Jack White.
Where would you put him?
I'd have him at centre or
Centre,
5'8". Either or.
Yeah.
You got to have him in the team.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bradman, you're out.
At first he's an incumbent, now he's out of the team. Wow. Fucking changing your tune quick.
But Jack.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of guys that can play multiple positions, Connor Watson, we've all got him at 14. You guys have convinced me.
We've all got him.
Yeah.
You've got him now.
I've got him now. Yeah.
I'm sick of you today.
What do you mean?
I'm keeping my picks to myself.
You guys should be flooded. I've agreed with you there. But Watson he's been good for the Roosters for the last few weeks, for sure. And
I think we can both agree, like he's been great.
Mm.
He plays multiple positions.
Yeah.
He's got 9. You can play 7 or 6. You can put him in the centres. You can put him on the wing. You can put him at fullback.
Yeah.
He's got good leg speed around the ruck.
Mm.
He's been great for the Roosters. He could. Oh, I just think he reminds me of the Craig Wing days.
Yeah.
When Craig Wing was 14 for New South Wales.
Yeah.
Quick around the ruck, play multiple positions. I
Mm.
know there's a few other names being tossed up, but I haven't heard Connor Watson.
Yeah. I actually, when I seen it, you written it down.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, I love that because, like you said, he doesn't just play hooker, he can play half.
Yeah.
He said fullback.
He can play 13, obviously.
And his form's been good for the
He's
Roosters.
been playing well.
Yeah.
I think his form's
Just
been
his leg speed, and he's strong.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He could give Queensland some trouble at the back end and halves
Yeah.
towards the end of the game. I'm surprised I haven't heard his name tossed up anywhere. I know Cam McInnes has been getting tossed up. Yeah, he's an Origin player. You know what you're going to get from him.
Yeah.
I just think Connor offers more positional play than Cam.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be mad if Cam McInnes got picked either.
Yeah, I think they've both been great off the bench, and Connor Watson's starting as well. He's played terrific, and he's played huge minutes as well. The only thing with Connor Watson, though, do you think that Abby Coruscant can handle playing the 60, 70 minutes in Origin at 9?
Yeah, but I'd have a look at him coming on at 13.
Abby Coruscant.
No, sorry. Are we talking about Connor?
I'm talking about Abby Coruscant.
I know. But, there's the option. That's why Connor's there, to
Yeah.
give either or a rest.
Yeah.
Depends how the game goes, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, if they're under the pump for the first 20 minutes defending, they get tired, we'll whack Connor on, but they might be on the front foot, and they could bring him on a hooker, some speed around the ruck. But
It all depends on their bench, on who they pick in their front row. Well, Payne Huss will be one,
Yeah.
and then either Mitch Barnes. It depends on who they pick for around their front rowers, and their interchange will determine what style of play Madge wants to play and whether Connor will fit in. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've got 2 smokies and debutants that I want you guys to react to, because you guys are about to throw them in your teams as well when we were sort of putting these together. The first one's Isaac Tungo.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on him getting picked in the centres?
Again, I remember GI when he was 19 and picking him in on Origin. Like, these kids are hungry. They've got no fear. They don't care about the big stage, especially those Penrith kids. I wouldn't be mad if they picked him either.
What are your thoughts?
I think he'll do a job. Like, his form's been good. He's been in a really successful team, so not scared of the big moments. I think,
How long did he get suspended for?
2 weeks, I think. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks.
So is he out then? If he's 2 weeks
although
away?
he'll get this week and the following week, and then the Origin's the following Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah,
Definitely, and Katoni.
Yeah.
They're all in
Yeah.
the mix for games 2 and 3.
Yeah, look, I just hope that with our team we keep it consistent as well. I don't want any chopping and
Then
changing.
you look at the Queensland team, you're like, fuck,
Yeah, I know.
they're going to build another dynasty.
Yeah.
The second player that I want you guys to react to is Mitch Barnett.
Yeah, I think he's been... The only thing that's going to let him down is that the team has lost 3 in a row. Warriors, they lost 3 or 4? 3.
It's 3, I think.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
And when you're the middle forward, you got a lot to answer for. So I think his form before, I haven't really watched him very closely over the last 3 weeks when they've been getting beat. But he came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he'd be in the mix.
Yeah.
He'd be thereabouts. He'd be definitely in the 19-man squad if that's what they pick.
Yeah, I think he'd be in the mix for sure. I think he's tough. You know, obviously Warriors aren't going too well, but get him in the Origin team, you could go to another level, you know.
Yeah.
Well, pecking order-wise, would you have Mitch Barnett or Terrell May?
I'd have Barnett.
You'd have Barnett?
But Terrell May could do a great job. He's been playing well.
Massive minutes too.
He's playing great. Yeah. So
he's not that super explosive for a role, but he stands in tackles, he plays big minutes.
Yeah, and like a lot of people are criticising him in contact at the moment because he sort of slows down a little bit just getting into contact, but he also braces himself as well to get that offload away, which is just adding a few other layers to his game. It's
not like bracing. It's like they want to stand in tackles, they get quick play the balls.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's doing well. I'd probably go with Barnett for now.
All right. Well, yourself, you're Barnett as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go into Queensland. Now, talking about copying teams, you guys have pretty much copied me 1 to 17 here.
It's not hard, really.
I think they just pick
themselves. Yeah.
And they always stick solid because they perform, I think. And the thing is, we don't really care about Queensland.
Just touche.
Fair enough.
No, they're a good team. Like they're unbelievable. I know.
One pick from you that stands out to me is Felice Kafusi.
Yeah.
He's only been back for the 1 week too.
Yeah, been there, done that. Been there, done that. Queensland legend.
Love his haircut.
Oh, that's
how
gnarly.
good's his haircut?
It's gnarly.
That's outstanding. It's a bit like yours.
Oh, mine! Don't disrespect
You'll be there
this.
soon.
His is like full ball and then like a little.
Mate.
What do you mean?
You could be booking a flight to Turkey.
In the first 6 weeks,
you serious?
creeping back. You go to Turkey with him.
Can I borrow your hat? Fucking hell.
That's why I'm wearing it.
He's done the job for him many times, Kafusi. I just don't think. I know the other person that's probably getting tossed up as a starter is Fifita. I just like him off the bench. Imagine dealing with him off the bench. Kafusi, go out there for 20, 25, do your job, get through that period until the game sort of starts to flow or open up a little bit more, and then you've got Fifita coming at you.
Yeah.
Would you play Fifita in the middle off the bench or on the edge?
Just put him anywhere.
Yeah.
Put him anywhere. You just got to watch out for his minutes. He's not an 80-minute player. He never will be.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever be. He's a 65, 70-minute beast. Right? You don't need to just run him into the ground. Get other people doing his work.
Yeah.
You know, but when he gets the ball, he does all the work.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, it's going to be interesting to see how they, how they work that back row, because another guy that we all have here as a smoky is Darcy checks his snap score is Jaden Sewer.
Yeah.
Jaden Sewer's been unreal for St. George.
Yeah, he's been good.
He's been so good.
Yeah. Off contract as well, I think.
Is he?
They said so. Yeah, he's,
I don't know about that.
Trying to get it. Well, that's another thing that maybe Roosters could look at if they.
Yeah.
He's out. You know, he's been going good. I think he's been great.
South shouldn't have let him go.
Nah, that's another thing. They said that maybe he might be linking back up with.
Wayne.
I don't think he'll go.
No.
What do you mean?
If the Roosters chuck him an offer, I'd be taking that 100% over, but going back to South.
Yeah, Wayne.
I don't know. Well, he's played at the club before. Oh, who knows, man? But Sewer's been great.
Yeah, he's been
for
on
years.
Yeah.
Like, he's a good player. He did his centre partner a favour on Anzac Day. He'd be happy when he threw him into Hargreaves' shoulder.
Oh yeah.
But Sewer's got to be in the team for sure. He's killing it.
Yeah, and we've all pretty much got him off the bench. Again, is he a guy that you maybe play in the middle off the bench, or just tuck him on an edge?
I think you could play him anywhere, really.
Who have you got at 13?
Paddy Carrigan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
You put him on edge. Carrigan plays big minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sewer has been playing well for a few years. It was a massive loss when South lost him. And he's in everything, and his hairstyle's outstanding.
Yeah. Talk about hairstyles, eh? Bloody good. It's better than Felice's, tell you that quietly. But yeah, look, I mean, I'm very excited to see what these Origin sides look like, particularly with Madge coming in for the Blues, having a bit of a new look. It's going to be very interesting to see if we get something similar with a few changes from the past few years, or if he just goes and comes in and just makes a number of changes.
He just needs to back himself. Because I think that's where Freddie became unstuck. He had too many people in his ear around selections.
Yeah.
Madge is just, this is the team. This is the style of play I want to play. And just back himself. Yeah.
Well, it is going to be very exciting to see how they do go. All right, lads, well, let's get straight into our tips for round 10. But first, Beery, welcome back to the show, mate. How are we?
Boys, outstanding. Outstanding. You know what? I'll be a little bit better if this microphone was maybe a little bit closer. I'll start eating it in a second.
Well, we hope not, mate. That wouldn't be ideal.
That wouldn't taste too good.
Talk to me about what the fans sent in for their funniest moment.
Oh, I tell you what, I got inundated with messages. Let me tell you, I asked the people to send me in their funniest moment of the round. And let me tell you, I don't know what they didn't like about the bunker. I'm not sure what was didgeridoo on there. But I tell you what, I thought Stevie Wonder did a cracking job up there. And you know what? Listen, boys, I was just listening to you before. You boys were bagging Felice Kafusi's haircut. I don't see what was wrong with it. You know what? He saved me a whole lot of data watching late night videos, because what I did, I just watched the Dolphins game on repeat, and I'll tell you what, went through a fair bit of moisturiser zooming in on his head.
Oh, God. Okay. Let's get into the tips now. Dolphins and Manly. What are we thinking for this one, guys? I think it's going to be a really close game. Dolphins obviously have Herbie Farnworth coming back in this week as well. Beery, let's get your thoughts first, mate.
Oh, I'll tell you what, mate. You asked me a game last week and I gave you the wrong answer. But Dolphins and Manly, look, I think Manly are special.
Yeah.
I think Manly bounce back this week.
Yeah, I think Manly will bounce back for sure.
Yeah. Panthers and Bulldogs. Now, Reni, obviously all quite high on the Bulldogs this week.
100%. It's you've got half the Penrith side playing for the Dogs. They're going back to Penrith. They've got a point to prove. They've got the coach that came from Penrith. $5.50. Penrith were awful last week, even though they won by 40. Dogs are specials.
Yeah, well, I like it. I like the confidence from you. And, you know, from 6 legs to 1, that's a big improvement too.
And from the odds, I reckon if you put $10 on them, you'll pretty much be able to buy a house. So it's not bad.
Well, I don't even have $10, so I'll just watch everyone else bet.
Penrith
responsibly.
Penrith for you?
Yep.
You on Penrith as well?
Penrith and Morals.
Yeah, Penrith for me as well. Eels and Broncos. What are we thinking there?
I like the Bronx. They're on fire. Yeah, I like the Bronx. I know they didn't have a good game last week, but I reckon they'll bounce back.
Darce, obviously Gutho and Moses out.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard for the Eels this week, but I'm gonna go the Eels.
Where's this game played?
It's at Parramatta. Is that combined?
I'm going to stick with Para. It doesn't matter.
Can't do it. Can't do it. The only thing that would change my bet to Parramatta would be how Reno being out too for the Broncos, but Reece Walsh is cramping up a fair bit with 60 minutes in. So yeah, it depends on his fitness as well, but I'm going to stick with Broncos.
Who comes in for Brisbane? Madden?
Yeah, Jock Madden.
And you got Ezra Mam, who gets to step up.
Still quite good, isn't it?
Still a good halves combination, but I'm sticking with Para.
All right, Tigers and Knights. I think we know who you're going for.
Come back to me in 5. West Tigers.
Look, I'm going to go Tigers.
Yeah?
I'm going to go Knights for the third in a row. I think Jackson Hastings really led the team around well without having Ponga there. The young fullback that's come in for Ponga has been playing well.
Yeah.
They're on a high. I reckon they can go through on the trot.
I think with my tipping record, it might not be too good luck for you, but I'll go the Knights as well. I like the Knights are going. Armstrong looks really good at fullback for me. Dragons and Rabbitohs. You're going to hurt my mental health here.
Mate, you know what? I reckon that'll be a close one, to be honest with you. Like the Rabbitohs have a lot to play for, but geez, man, it's almost a little bit like Dumb and Dumber at the moment, but I'm going to go the Rabbitohs. I like your Rabbitohs, don't worry.
I think Dragons are my special one. Dragons are my best bet of the round. Too many injuries at South. Poor form, but sorry, boys, but yeah, I'm going to go with Dragons.
Yeah,
I like it.
I wouldn't be confident picking South. Yeah, you got Latrell coming back, and he's going to have a big game, but too many injuries. Many injuries in key positions, and I think the Dragons really need to win. They're desperate now.
I'm probably going to go South. I haven't gone with my team for the past few weeks, and yes, I've been quite successful with that, but I mean, they've got a new guy coming in, Dion, who's quite good from New South Wales Cup. He played
Dion.
for Tonga.
Yeah, I know Dion. It's a good player.
Yeah, really good player. He comes in this week. Latrell Mitchell coming back. I think that he really needs to step up and play big footy for South Sydney, especially
Where's this game, Les?
It is at Dragon's home.
Oakey or down in Wollongong?
I think it's in Wollongong.
It's hard going out to Togger.
I know it is, but
I'm going to say this as well. Look, I love Latrell. I reckon he'll bounce back. You know, he's got a lot to play for, but he's got a big heart. I'm backing him. He'll come back and have a cracker.
Absolutely.
100%
I like that
more.
from you. I like that from you.
I'm backing him. 100%.
I changed this house now just because of Beer. He inspired me.
Makes me feel good. Storm and Sharkies. This is going to be my bet of the round. If I'm chucking in a bit of a round as well, I think the Storm will win 1-12. Yeah, look, I like the Melbourne Storm this week. I think that the Sharkies have been playing well, but I think you guys have convinced me as well when we talked about it pre-recording. They're yet to prove themselves against top 8 sides, I think.
Well, there's a bit of history between these two clubs, you know, 2016 grand final. I'm not confident picking Melbourne. I'm only picking Melbourne because it's in Melbourne. But yeah, that's my pick. Sharks will go down there and give them a good run.
Yeah, they will. I think it's going to be a crack. It's probably game of the round, this one. So I'm going to go Melbourne, but we could learn a lot about the Sharks from this round.
I think a big thing for the Sharks is that Hughes is out too, obviously at 7. Munster actually goes into the 7 jersey. Wishart comes into 6.
Out?
Hughes is out.
Jesus. All right, I can't change me team now.
What about you, mate?
I thought you forgot about me, Dusty, but
I never forget you, mate.
I'll tell you what. I think the Storm, I know they've had some good history in the past, the stink that Curtis Scott and Dylan Walker had before, but I reckon it'll be a cracker of a game.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is probably going to be, as you said, the game of the round. I think it's going to be one of the tightest games of the round too. Roosters and the Wars. Beery, we're going to this game, mate.
I'm excited. For anyone that's out there, keep an eye out for us. We're going to be roaming the streets, doing a bit of street chittity chat, and we'll just be chewing the fat out there. So keep an eye out for us. Up the Wars.
Roaming in the streets. I'm a bit scared for this one just quietly, but we'll see how we go. I think we'll go all right.
I'll bring you a nappy, don't worry.
Thanks. Roosters and Wars, what are we thinking?
Oh, look. The Wars have a lot to play for. You know I joke about the West Tigers, but I'm actually a Wars supporter. I'm backing them. You know, they probably haven't played their best the last few games, but they've got a lot to play for. They really do. You know, I know Macy's obviously a big Roosters supporter, but up the Wars.
Yeah, what are we thinking here?
Look, I've tried to stick solid to the Wars this year, but I can't back them at the moment. I'm going to go the Roosters.
Mate, Freddie's going to be furious.
He's always furious with me. So.
Nothing's changed. You can't bet against the Roosters the way they're playing at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. They've been unreal. Roosters for me as well. Titans and Cowboys. Beery, what are we thinking?
This is another bold statement, but I'm going in for it again. I'm diving in head first. I might be in the shallow end, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to say it right now on camera. I reckon the Cowboys will win the comp. Now, I know it's a bold statement, but I think they've got the team to do it. I'm telling you, they came good at the back end of last year. I think once they start putting, their games together, you watch. Come back to me in a few weeks' time.
Well, it's a big call.
Big call.
Big call.
But I'm backing that too.
Not too bad.
I'm a big fan of the Gold Coast, the place at the moment, so I'm going to go the Gold Coast. And mate, can you send us to a Gold Coast game soon?
Yes.
Yeah, a little BTFU.
I'll go with you.
Yeah?
And bring me a nappy as well.
Yeah. Thank you. We've got that on camera, so we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. BTFU sponsored trip.
Yeah.
Sponsored by the Caxton Hotel too, just quietly. Well, it'll be good fun.
Yeah.
What are we thinking here?
Titans are competing unbelievably. It's a huge game.
Yep.
Huge game. I'm going to stick with the Titans.
Yep.
They, to go down to Melbourne and only come up 2 points short.
Yep.
The week before against the Warriors. Mate, was it Warriors? The week before? Anyway, I think the Titans, AJ Brimson at fullback, they're going to be hard to beat at home. Yeah,
I agree. I think the Titans will really give it a bit of a shake at home as well. If it's a dry track, that's even better for the Gold Coast Titans. I mean, for them to do what they did against Melbourne is just huge. Yes, Ryan Pappenhausen was out, but he was out for most of last year, and Melbourne was still a top 4 threat. So, yeah, I think that they probably do.
How hard is this round? How hard's it not?
It is.
Like, fuck.
Anyone can beat anyone now.
Yeah.
I mean, you were talking about me losing hair. I nearly pulled some of it out trying to tip for this round. Tell you that, mate, it's fucking just hectic.
Just being a South supporter, you're pulling your hair out, are you?
Yeah, mate, it's been a few times where I've actually pulled it out too, to be honest. Let's go into our best bets. Darce, I'll start with you, mate. What have we got for this week?
So yeah, this week I have which is my best bet of the week is I got the Dragons -3.5. I got Manly head to head and Storm head to head, and on cross bet you multi them up $5.65. That'll get you a good night out.
Mate, you got to get off the Snapchat. What are we doing here?
I'm Snapchat.
Brendan, what are we doing?
Mate, I'm
that
thinking
snappy
something. I'm having the one bet this week. I've been an absolute shocker the last few weeks with my multis. $5.50, dogs, morals. It's the upset of the round. There's a lot to play for a lot of those Canterbury boys, and it's a good challenge to see where they're at. They've just scraped it. They're in the 8 now. They haven't been in the 8 for a few years. That's the second week in a row they've been in the 8. Point to prove. They're coming for that top 4, the Dogs.
I agree. It's definitely a huge bet to make, and for the Dogs to be $5.50, you're getting a ton of value there too on the cross bet app. My best bet of the week is Roosters to win this weekend against the Wars. Mace not too happy about that with my tipping record. Rabbitohs to win against the Dragons. I think that they've got to win this week. I'm tipping them as well. I think that they've really got to play up the trial coming back. Dion, I'm really high on him, the 7 that's coming in this week. I think Rabbitohs get up. And then Angus Crichton to score any time. Now, I kept it simple last week and got up. Angus Crichton might throw me off a little bit, but I'm willing to take that risk. $10.26 to the value you're getting here is unreal. And where you're going to get that value, you're going to get it on CrossBet. You're going to get it under the BTFU hub. One click away, boys.
Beautiful.
Lock out multis straight in. What's your special for this week, mate?
Look, I wouldn't be able to hit water if I fell out of a boat, but if I was to have a bet, I'm going the Cowboys 13+. The house on it.
And to win the comp, apparently,
Gamble
too.
responsibly, yeah. That's right. I'm backing them.
Lovely. Make sure to go and download the CrossBet app if you haven't downloaded it already. Our bets are all under the BTFU hub. One click away, you can lock in all of our multis. So if you haven't already, you download the CrossBet app, you gamble responsibly, and you make sure to set a deposit limit as well. Lads, good to have you on for another
You're
week.
on fire, Dusty. I love it. The passion, I was worried one of his hands was going to go flying in a second. Good show, boys. I love it.
Good to have you on for another week, lads.
Yeah.
What are you prepared to lose today? Set a deposit limit. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.